Hello, my name is Troy Hildebrand.
Hi, I'm Connor Weiss, and we attend Scarlet for industrial diesel mechanics.
Today we're going to talk to you about the cooling system. The cooling system is one of the most overlooked systems in the entire engine. Its purpose is to actually cool the engine, and it's a hydraulic system. Come over here, we're going to talk about some of the components that make up the cooling system.
Right here is a water pump. The water pump actually, the only thing it does is creates flow. It doesn't actually cool the engine, which a lot of people mistake.
This is a recovery or surge tank, which actually holds the coolant.
Right here is a pneumatic fan drive. Pneumatic fan drive is one of the three fan drives there is. There's mechanical and electrical.
This is a fan. The purpose of this fan is to cool the radiator. The direction of the fan, which is set up, determines whether it pulls air in or pushes air out.
Right here is a bottom radiator hose. The reason I know this is because it has a spring in it. The spring actually keeps the hose from collapsing when you throttle up.
This is a water manifold. The purpose of this is to actually collect and then send out coolant. This is a neck where the radiator cap goes on, and this manifold actually has a thermostat built into the side radiator.
This is the top radiator hose. The reason I know that is there's no spring on it.
This is what a thermostat looks like. The purpose of this is to regulate the temperature inside the engine. It acts as a valve. And if you have a bad thermostat, it could either not open, which lets your engine, it doesn't build up optimal running pressure, or if it stays closed, it could cause your engine to overheat.
We'll get over here, we'll look at a couple things on the truck here. This is the radiator, which is also which the fan blows into. The fan back here is actually a mechanical fan. This is the aftercooler. This is the AC condenser, and this is the transmission fluid cooler.
Take a look over here. I'm going to show you some of the tools that we use to check the cooling system. Here is the pressure pump. This is an adapter for the radiator cap.
Right here I have a hydrometer. The hydrometer checks the gravity, which is the mixture of water and antifreeze. That should be about a 50-50 mix. Also, we have test strips which test the quality of the cool.
Come over here, we'll show you what this looks like. We're going to test the pressure of the radiator cap. Another thing, you never want to exceed the pressure on the radiator when you're testing it. It should be 15 psi, no more, because you could blow a hose or cause the radiator to malfunction. Now the radiator cap should hold up to 15 psi, and once it exceeds that, it should let air out. But as you pump this up to 15, you can see that it doesn't hold pressure, so we know we have a bad radiator cap.
Another thing is if a lot of people will wash their car and the fins will get bent on these. That can also cause the vehicle to overheat because it's not getting the correct airflow. Another thing that can cause this thing to overheat is if the belt back here is loose or slipping. The fan clutch, if it's malfunctioning, can also make this vehicle overheat. A bad radiator cap, which will not allow the boiling point of the engine to go up. That's really it. In closing, we're going to talk about the parts and functions of this hydraulic system. It starts with ethylene glycol or propylene glycol, which is the fluid.
And that is mixed with 50-50 mixture with water. Second, you have the reservoir, in case we have our surge tank or recovery tank. After that, you have the pump to create the flow,
which is the water pump. And then it goes to the thermostat, which controls the fluid.
It acts as a valve. And then there next you have to have the lines, which carry the coolant to the radiator, which is cooled by a fan,
which is an actuator. Also, the fluid is also aeration or cavitation.
also going to cover aeration and cavitation. Aeration is when air is introduced to the system and may cause foaming. There's different additives to put into the system to help control that.
Another thing is cavitation. That's when you're low on fluid and the system is sucking air up,
which can cause it to overheat. Another thing with aeration we're going to talk about is if you either have a blown head gasket or a bad intake manifold gasket or a cracked head, it can allow air into the system.
The way you can troubleshoot that and tell if that's the problem is if you have bubbles with your coolant or you have a sweet smell coming out of your exhaust with a little bit of white smoke.
And that will be it for our cooling system instructional video.